So today we are going to start insertion. Okay, I'll be teaching insertion at the front, okay, also at the end of a singly linked list and also of circular singly linked list. Okay, circular singly linked list. Both I will be teaching also at the end. Insertion at the front and insertion at the end of circular singly linked list and singly linked list. Okay, so we'll just see. So here I'm going to create a function. Now before creating, so when you come to insertion, always there will be two cases in singly linked list as well as circular singly linked list, even if it is doubly linked list as well as circular doubly linked list. So we'll just see one by one. So when it comes to insertion, there are two cases. First case is linked list will be empty. Linked list will be empty and you have to insert the node which you have created. Suppose if this is the node which you have created, imagine 10 null. Okay, this is the data part and I have named this node as, like, let this node be created in the in some address 500. Okay, this node is created in some address 500 and I have given the name of this node as temp. Okay, so I want to insert this node into the singly linked list. Imagine singly linked list. So during insertion you have to consider two cases. Sometimes the linked list will be empty, okay, and you have to insert this node temp. So what is the procedure? Second thing is, there are nodes in the linked list. There are nodes in the linked list. That means your linked list is not empty and you have to insert this node. For example, suppose imagine you have nodes like this already present. Okay, let this value be 1000. Let this be in 2000. So you know here it will be 2000. Here it will be null. Okay, and there will be a first which has the address 1000. Already the linked list is not empty if this is the case, and you have to add this node here at the you have to add the node here to this linked list. So these are the two cases, either always during the insertion of singly linked list or circular singly linked list or doubly linked list or circular doubly linked list. These 2 points should be considered. The node which you made should be inserted. At that time linked list might be empty, or there are cases where the nodes there are already nodes present in the linked list. That means linked list is not empty. Okay, so we'll see one by one. So you know that our question is to insert a node at the front of the singly linked list. Okay, so this node should be created, then only it can be inserted. So so how can I create the node? Okay, so when we studied creation, okay, we use this creation struct node. We have an integer which is a data which is an integer type, also an address which is of struct node type. Okay, this is there, and here I am going to create a new node. So I am going to give that node's name as temp. So what you have to do is make the temp initially null during creation itself. So make the temp as null. So what is going to happen here? Now I am going to start a new function, insert front. Okay, and here this is the definition of the structure. Now I have to create temp. For creating temp, I use the function malloc. So already in the first module we have studied how to do malloc. So do the typecasting struct node star malloc size of struct node. Okay, so what is going to happen here is it is going to create a node called temp. What is malloc going to do? Malloc is going to return me an address. Imagine that address is 500 and this 500 I have stored it in temp. I typecasted it and stored it in temp. So imagine that thing is like this now. And you know struct node, when you're typecasting into struct node, it will go and see the struct node. Struct node has a data type as well as link. So what it will do, it will create two portions, which is data and a link. Okay, so again malloc will only give me an address. That address I'm typecasting and store it in temp. So imagine the address returned is 500, that I stored it in temp. So temp is going to be a struct node type. So what is struct node type? It will have a data as well as an address part. So here the node called temp is created with data and a link part. Now imagine a node is being created. Now I cannot put this node like this itself. Should have a data here. Okay. So how to put a data inside temp? So that's easy. Use the name temp and then put minus and arrow data. Okay. That means take the node temp and in its data part, imagine I'm storing the value 10. Okay. So what will happen? 10 will be stored here. Okay. Now before inserting a new node or after creating a new node, it's better to put in the link part as null. Okay. So what you do is in temp link part, you can put it as null. So I just put it as null here. Okay, so this is the node I'm going to insert using, but I have to consider both the cases, case 1 and case 2. What was the case 1? Case 1 is linked list is empty and case 2 is there are no nodes in the linked list. So we can see what will happen here now. Okay, now imagine your case 1. Okay, case 1, it says your linked list is empty. If your linked list is empty, you know that your first is null always, because you imagine we already during creation we already put struct node as first is equal to null whenever it is created first time. That means when the linked list is empty, always your first will be null. There will be no first. That first is equal to null means no first is available. Okay, first has no value, first is not at all available. Okay, so when you say your linked list is empty, always know that your first is null. So I can write this as if my first is null, that means my linked list is empty. Linked list is empty. If my linked list is empty, what I'm going to do, but I have to insert this node, which the temp node which I have created. So what is the only change when it comes to singly linked list? This is your temp which has the data now, data 10 and null. This is 500. So what it is, to make this as linked list, what should I do? You just add here first. That means the first value will be 500. That's it. This will be a linked list. Now this temp became a linked list, a part of a linked list. Okay, understood? The only thing you did is you checked whether your first is null. That means you knew that your linked list is empty. And what you're doing now, you take your first which was null. First was null. Now you store value 500 into first. So your first was null. Now you have to make your first as 500. That is what you have to do. But this 500 value, where it is stored? It is stored in temp. So when I write the code, I can write this as first is equal to temp. Understood? So here you write it as first is equal to temp. That's the only thing you have to do when your linked list is empty. So always remember that in singly linked list, in circular singly linked list, in doubly linked list, in circular doubly linked list, till here your code will be the same. Okay, for linked list to be empty, okay, these much code will be the same. You create a temp, put some data into it, make the link into null, and check your first is null. If your first is null, make your first as temp. So this code will be same for inserting at the end, inserting at the front, for singly linked list and circular singly linked list. Okay, so for doubly linked list, I'll tell you it. Okay, now going to the next part, that is case 2. Now your case 2 is you have data in the case 2 is your linked list is not empty, there are nodes. There are nodes in the linked list. So for that case, I'll just make some samples. So let this be 20. Okay, there are some nodes in the linked list. So let's create some nodes. 30. Okay, and imagine this is 40. Okay, and here this, let the address be 1000, 2000 and 3000. So you know, to create the linked list, so put here 1000, sorry, 2000. So what happens, connection will be created like this. Here you put 3000, so your connection will be like this, and here you're going to put none. Okay, and you will have a first which has the value. Okay, now in this case you are going to insert temp. Okay, what is your temp now? Your temp is, which is at 500, it has 10, it has none. This you are going to insert at the front. That means it should have it should be connected here. Okay, so that is your aim. Okay, now what you are going to do is, what is the only difference now, this so this should be connected here. So what, for that what will you do? So I told you this is temps data part, this is temps link part. So temps link is already null, correct? It is null. Okay, it is null. That you have to change it into, 1000. That means your temp link should be 1000. Then only this connection will be formed, correct? So when you are writing in the code, you cannot write 1000. Instead of 1000, you can write first, right? Because 1000 value is stored in first. So you can write temp link is equal to first, correct? So what will happen? Connection will be created. Connection will be created when you say temp is equal to first. So here in the upper code, here you can write, else this is the case 1, for this is for case 2. Else what will you do? First, your temp link is equal to first. Okay, then what you have to do, then what are the changes to be done is, now this becomes your first node, correct? Now this temp becomes your first node. So you remove first from here and make the first here. That means your first value will be 500. Now what you have to do, first was 1000, now we are going to make it as 500. The new value of first is 500. So we cannot write 500 here, but already the value 500 was there in temp. So you can write it as first is equal to temp. Okay, so now that code you can write it here. First is equal to 10. So this is um, the function for void insert front for doubly linked list. So you just close everything. So hope this is clear. Yeah. So this is the code for void insert front of a singly linked list. Okay, this is for a singly linked list. Now we will study what is it for circular singly linked list. Okay, circular singly linked list. The um, the code till here will be the same. Okay, till here will be the same. Okay, till here. So only the else part will have some difference. Okay. For circular singly linked list, I'm going to insert at the front. So what is going to happen? I'm going to write the code void insert front. Now I'm going to say it is circular linked list, singly linked list, circular linked list. Okay, like this. Now here what I have to do? I have to create temp. Okay, temp struct node star malloc size of struct node. Okay, after that I'm just putting a data 10 and I am giving its link part as null. So imagine when you do this you will get temp. Okay, imagine malloc has given me the address 500. Okay, and that 500 I've stored it in temp. That is what happened here, which I typecasted and stored. And here the data is stored 10 and this I made as none. Okay, and here what you have to do is, now we go for the case 1 where first is null. Always if it is an empty linked list, your first will be null. At that time what you have to do, the only change you have to do is make your first here to null. From first was null, now the first value will be 500. That means I have to make my value of first as 500. So I cannot write 500 like that in the code. Use temp because 500 value stored in temp already. So you can make as first is equal to, it means here first is equal to temp. Okay. Now we'll go for the else part. Else, what is the case? That means your second case. Okay. So here what you're going to do is, already you have some nodes in the circular linked list. So let's represent that. Imagine you have 20, 30 and 40. So this is let it be 1000, this is 2000, this is 3000. So here it will be 2000, so there will be a link created. 3000, there will be a link created. As is a circular link list, we need to connect it like this. So the address here will be 1000. Okay, so this is simply circular linked list, and here first will be 1000. Okay, now you have to add the value temp, which is at 500, that is 10 and null to this. So what you are going to do, so the changes which will happen is, as you observe, this will change. Okay, this one it will change from, because temp is the one which is going to be at first. So actually this should come like this. Okay, so because this is the first node which should be added. So how are we going to do that? We just will see. Okay, so for that reason you need to travel to here, to this node 3000 node. From 1000 you need to travel till 3000 and then make a change in the link part of 3000. For that what we are doing, we are going to take a new pointer variable called last. Okay, so in the struct node, when you're defining your struct node, okay, when you can just define struct node last. When you're creating, no, first you will define it as none. After that, when you reach this code, you have to make last point to where first is pointing. That means last value should be 1000. How to make last value as 1000? That means you're making last where the first is now. So this is actually first value, correct, right? So you can write in the code as last is equal to first. So what will happen? Last will come and stand here. So last is equal to first. Now last is here. Okay. Now what you are going to do, okay. So now what we have to do is we have to reach the last node. So last node we have to reach, that is this node. If you see this node, how we know that this is the last node? Because the last, this node's link is the first node. That means this node's link is the value of first. That is, first is 1000, as you see here. That 1000 is returned here. So we know this is the last node if it is in the case of circular linked list. So how are we going to move this last, okay, this last to the to this node? Okay, so now for that, what we do is, your last is already in 1000. Now you check whether your last link, what is the last link's value? It is 2000. Okay, so this last link means this. Okay, always understand last data as per the above. See, for example, if you have 20 and 2000, if you are putting this as first, okay, if you are putting this as first, if you want to access this data, you can write it as first data. Okay, yeah, printf first data, it will give the value as 20. Even first link, printf first link, it will give you the value of 2000. So just remember that. Similarly here, according to this diagram, last is put here. If you want to access this link, you can just write last link. So now here last link is 2000. Now you check whether this last link is first or not. How? You check whether this last link is first or not. Okay, first means if it is 1000. Is it 1000? No. So this is not 1000. So we have to move last from here to here. Okay, so how will you write the code is, first you check whether your last link is first. Okay, if it is not first, what you have to do, you have to move the last to the second node. How to move the last to the second node? Now your last is 1000 now. Last is 1000. You have to move it to 2000. So how will you do that? To make last into 2000, what is this 2000? Is this 2000 not last link? So can I write this as can I write this as last is equal to last link? Okay, so last link value, that is according to here, according to this diagram, it will be 2000. Let me delete all these things. Okay, according to here, last link is 2000, because last is here. So last link is 2000. This 2000 value will be stored. Take the last link, which is 2000, that is 2000 value is here, the value is 2000. Okay, that 2000 you store it into last. So what will be happen? You now your last is 2000. It will move from here to here. Now your last becomes this. So when your last link is not equal to first, what you have to do? Make your last as last link. Okay. Now again what you have to check, whether this last link, okay, whether the last link, that is this one, is first or not. So you check again whether your last link is first or not. So this will put it in a while loop. Okay. Anyway it is not equal to first. Here the value is not. Here the value is not 1000. Okay. So what you have to do? Last link you take. Now you have to move your last to this position. Now that means now your last is 2000. Now you have to make last as 3000. So how will you make it as 3000? Your last is standing here. Last link if you will get the value as 3000. Okay, last link is 3000. That you put it into last. Okay, that is what I have written here. Again take the last link which is 3000 and put it into last. Now your last is 3000. So last will move from here to here. Now again you go up. You check whether your last link is first. Yes, your last link is first. It is not equal to first means it will not go inside this because it became first. It became 1000. So what it will do? It will jump out of while and it will come and stand here. You have to write the code now. Now what you have to write the code as? Now just now you have to, now your temp was standing here. Delete the temp which was 10, which was null. Your temp was 500. Now what you have to do? You have to, this node you have to attach it here, correct? So now last is standing here. Now what you have to make? Now your last link should get the value, instead of 1000 it should get the value 500. It should be 500. Your last link should be 500. So instead of 500 can I write last link is equal to temp? That is correct line. So I made last link is equal to temp. So what happened? This connection will be formed. Okay, and then what you have to do? Okay, now I have to connect this one to temp. I have to connect to the front, like this connection I need. So that means now this value which is temp link, I have to make it to, I have to connect it here. So the value of this node is 1000. I have to make it to 1000. So how to make it into 1000? You take your temp link and you can add first, right? Because 1000 is first. So you can see then next part of your code will be temp link is equal to first. Okay, so now after this what you have to do? Now the first, this is not the first, this is not the node, this is not the first node, but this is the first node. So you have to add here first. Okay, okay, first means its value will become 100. That means first, instead of 1000 its value should be 500. So its value should be 500. So how to make it into 500? How to write the code? I can write first is equal to 10. First is equal to. So this is the code for circular linked list. Now automatically how will be the whole linked list? It will be like this. First 10 will be there, then here this is which is 500, this will be 1000, 20 will be connected here, 30 is there, 40 is there. Okay, so this was 1000, this was 2000, this was 3000. So here 2000 will be there, here 3000 will be there, here. So So here 500 will be there. This will be first value will be 500. This is the answer you get in the circular linked list. So okay, so now we will go on to, this is how we insert at the front end. Circular linked list happens. So now we will go for the insert at the end. Insert at the end of singly linked list and circular singly linked list. As I've told, the code till here, which I'm not going to explain it once again, the code till here, that is here it will be same for all the insertions. So, okay, so I'm not going to explain it here, okay, till here. Else part only I will explain. So let's see the else part. Insert at the end of the circular linked list. Else means, what is the else part? When the linked list is not empty and you want to insert at the end. Okay, so that means there are some nodes. Imagine, okay, now we'll see the linked list is not empty. So imagine I have the linked list. Okay, this is 1000, 2000 and 3000. So here it will become 2000. So there will be connection like this. Here it will be 3000. So there will be a connection like this. And this is null, where you will have a first also. First is 1000. Now imagine you have the temp, which is that temp. I'm just going to give, because this is inserting at the end, so I'm going to give an address 4000, okay, for our ease. Okay, then here let it be the value 50 and then let it be null. Okay, so what is my aim is, I have to add this at the end of this. I have to add temp. This is my aim, where the address of this one will change. Address of this one should become 4000. Only then it will be connected. So how can you do that? That's what we are going to check. So we have to reach till the last node. Till this node we have to reach, because this node says that this is the, in this linked list, this is the last. So what we are going to do, we are going to take a pointer called last. Okay, the last, actually last, it has to start from where first is. So that means last value should become 1000. Okay, then only last can come here. Okay, if last value is 1000 only, it can come and stand here. So to make it into 1000, I made it humanly as 1000. How can I write this as code? Last is equal to first. Okay, so make this as last is equal to first. Now what I'm going to check is, I'm going to check whether my last link is null or not. Then only I know that this is the final node. If my last link is null, it is a final node. So what happens, then you're going to check whether your last link is null or not. Okay, whether it's not null. If it is not null, what you're going to do? In this case, it is not null. Last link has the value 2000. Okay, 2000 is not null. So what you will do in that case? In that case, you are going to move last to the next position. That is, last is going to have the value 2000. Last should have the value 2000. How to make it into 2000? This 2000 value, where it is stored? In last link. Correct? No, last is standing here now. It is not yet moved. Last link value is 2000. So can I put this instead of 2000, can I say last link? That is correct. Correct, no? So here what I do, last is equal to last link. Okay, so now this last link value is 2000. It will come into last. So what will happen? So now last is moving from here to here. Okay. Now again you check whether last link is null. So here as this is going as a loop, can you add while? Check last link. Our last link now is 3000. Whether 3000 is null? No, it is not null. Correct? No. So what will you do? You take the last link value, which then it will enter into this loop, okay, or loop, or if it is only one statement, no need of loops, okay. So what it will take, last link is 3000. It will take the 3000 and put it into last. When last value was 2000, now when you put last is equal to 3000, what happens? It will move from here to where 3000 is pointing, that is here. Okay, so now what you can do, okay, now what you can do is, now again check whether your last link is null. Yes, now when you take your last link, it is null. Null is equal to null, null not equal to null, just it is false. So what happens? It will come out of the loop. It will not execute this. It will come out of the loop. Now what you can do? You can make this last link as the temp value. That is, you can make last link, you should make your last link as what? 4000. You have to make 4000 here, so that what happens, it will get connected like this. So instead of 4000, what you can write? You can write temp last link is equal to temp. So you can write last link is equal to temp. So what happens? A connection will be formed. Okay, so this is how you do insert at the end of a singly linked list. Okay, now this is all. So here the only difference I made is I gave a new name to insert end. Okay, I gave a new name, and temp of data, you have to include temp malloc and all that. After that, temp of data I made it to 50 instead of 10. I made it to 50. That's only difference. Till the first it will be the same. Okay, I mean till the linked list is not, a linked list is empty, that part everything will be the same. Okay, till here everything, I'm sorry, till here everything will be the same. Here instead of 10 I gave 50, and that's all. Okay, and insert friend, instead of insert friend I gave end. This is not circular, that I gave as end. Okay, that's the only difference. Okay, now we'll go for insert at the end of the circular linked list. What happens at the end? Okay, insert at the end of a circular linked list. Again here, till if first is equal to null, it is the same. So here void insert end circular linked list, everything is the same till first is equal to null. So I am going to use only the else part. Okay, so else part, it is when the linked list is not empty, that is nodes are there. Okay, so let's create. So here let it be 20, 30, 40. Okay, I have already a temp which is at 4000. Okay, and I have the data 50, and this is null. Here let it be, here it is 2000, there is a connection. Here that is 3000, there is a connection, and here that is 1000 instead of null, because it's a circular linked list, and we have a first which is 1000. Okay, now again, how you have to insert, this is the change you have to make. Okay, you have to insert here temp. Okay, you have to insert here temp. That means here the value 1000 should go and 4000 should come. That means at the last node you have to make the link as 4000, and then what, in temps link you have to make it as 1000. So this will get connected like this. So that is what you are going to do here. So let's see how to do it. Okay, so now what you're going to do, anyway you have to reach till the last node. So you can take a variable called last, so, and make it to where first is pointing. That means you want to make last value as 1000. So how will you make 1000? You can, thousands value is put in first, so make it as first. Okay, so now you made that as first. After that you have to travel this last, you have to travel till here. So each time you have to check whether the last link is now the last link should not be null, but last link should have first value. That if the last link has first value, we can say it is the final node. So here the last link should not be equal to first value. So this is the first value. If it is here the last link is, now let's see here. Here the last link is 2000. Is 2000 equal to 1000? No. So this is not the last node. So what we have to do, move the last to the next position. So last now should become 2000 from 1000. So 2000 value is put in, 2000 value is present in last of link. So you can say last is equal to last of, last is equal to last of link. So now here as it not equal to first, last now moves to 2000. Again you check the last link. What is the last link here? Now it is 3000. Is 3000 equal to 1000? No, it is not equal to 3000. So this becomes a loop. So we can put a while here. So is it 3000? No, it is not 1000. So what we will do, take the last link value which is 3000. What is the last link value? 3000, and you store it into last. Okay, 3000 value comes it into last. So last moves here. Now last link, what is the value of last link? 1000. 1000 is equal to not equal to 1000. No, this is false. So it will come outside. So what we can do, now you start doing this last link, that is this value should have 4000. That is last link should have 4000. That is the change we are going to make. So how can we make it? If it is 4000, I can write, instead of 4000 I can write what? Temp, because 4000 is temps value, correct? So now here I can say it has come outside of the loop. So I can say last link you make it to 4000, make it to temp. So this temps value is so 4000. So there will be a connection like this. Now what should happen? This value should change. That is temp link value. Temp link value you should give it to 1000. This should go and 1000 should come here. So what is this 1000? 1000 is first value. Now this is equal to first. So you can write temp link should be first. So what will happen? So here will be connection created. Now this is over. So this is the code for the insertion at the end of the circular linked list. Thank you.